let's get into this. I don't know if you call it a logo controversy. It's more like a logo debate, I would say. This is, I assumed, the brainchild of Kyrie Irving, and he said in a press conference that Kobe Bryant should be the new NBA logo, replacing fellow Lakers legend Jerry West. Excuse me. He told the media, "quote He is the standard for our generation." Jerry West then responded to this on an appearance on ESPN's The Jump. He said, "quote I wish that I never gotten out that I'm the logo. I really do. I said it more than once, and it was flattering. That's me. I know it is me, but it is flattering. I played in a time when they first started to try to market the league. There were five people that they were going to consider. I don't like to do anything to call attention to myself." So a very humble response from Jerry West. Doc Rivers had comments. He said, quote, "I've been asked that, but I don't know the answer to that. I mean, Michael Jordan would be the logo. Listen, if you want to have a logo, Michael to me would be it. But I don't know if you change for change. Usually change things because of history and something you find out that doesn't fit. Jerry has been a deserving logo, and I have no problem with him continuing to be the logo. I mean, but if we're going to do it, change the logo every 10 years or 20 years. So if I like our logo and I think we should probably stick with it, I'm probably in a minority in that thought." I'm kind of with Doc Rivers on this. A couple of things, and I'll pass it to you, Matt. First, what a disrespect to Jerry West. He's a Hall of Famer in this league, and I don't know. I don't want to get on. I don't want to think it's racial, but I just think, along with Jerry West as a player, as an owner, and as an impact and just an executive in this league, I think he has major contributions to the NBA. And so I personally like the logo. I think it should stay the way it is. However, if we're going to change it, a couple of things. So this is going to sound weird because I'll admit I always joke about this. I have a membership card to the Church of Michael Jordan. I think he is a phenomenal player. He's my favorite player. I think he's the greatest of all time. However, I would feel weird with him being the logo just because there is a corporate tie there with him and Nike. So to me, it's like, I realize that they're already tied together, but with him being the logo, in a sense, you're kind of tying a league to a corporate entity in terms of woven into, I guess, I don't know, it's crossing over. Like, you're not having them as a advertiser. Does that make any sense? And I don't know, maybe I'm just making a big deal out of this too much, but I just feel like when you have Jordan as a logo on certain teams' uniforms in college football, college basketball, and then you're making his logo for the NBA, I feel a little bit weird about that, to be 100% honest. Now, the Kobe thing, again, if let's just say Jordan wasn't, no, and this is hard to really fathom because of how popular his shoe is, but let's say he didn't have the shoe. Let's say the logo didn't exist, and let's say they're on equal footing in terms of getting them, who's going to be the logo, Michael Jordan or Kobe. It's Jordan easily. So by that, I don't think Kobe should be the logo. I mean, Kobe's basis was Michael Jordan. If there was no Michael Jordan, I don't know if we would see the Mamba as he was during his career, to be quite honest. I mean, he patterned everything after Michael Jordan, and really there was no other player in the league that mimicked Kobe's competitive spirit other than Michael. So I already think I like the, honoring, I believe it's the Elon ending. I think it's the Kobe ending with 24 points in the All-Star game, doing that in honor of Kobe. Other Kobe tributes, I think it's awesome. Do it.
He has the All-Star trophy too.
Oh,
the
that's
All-Star
right.
MVP
there you
trophy.
go. There you go. And I think another issue, again, it was going to bring up, and this is always going to be the case, even when the man passed away, if you remember with, I forgot the woman reporter on CBS News, but when Kobe Bryant passed away, Lisa Leslie was on there, and they were asking him about the rape allegations when he passed away. So you imagine when he becomes the logo of the league, people are going to go after that. I mean, whether or not you think, cancel culture, whatever, that's another debate for another show. But the point is that it's going to come up with people going into Kobe's past and him being a logo. It's going to come up. So I think for all of those reasons, I don't feel like there should be a change. And I honestly think the NBA logo is iconic. That's an iconic logo. To me, in my opinion, I think it's the best logo in sports.
Yes.
So I just don't, like Doc Rivers says, just to change it because another dedication to Kobe, he's being dedicated all over this league. I mean, he's interwoven all over into this league, and it wouldn't even surprise me if the WNBA named some kind of trophy or something in his name too, just because of his reverence for women's basketball too. So he's going to be all over the NBA, and there's no doubt in my mind that his name will never be forgotten in years to come. And I just don't feel the logo should be changed in his honor. What do you think about that, Matt?
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said there. So I'm just going to try and maybe add a little bit more
Sure.
context where I can. But I agree with you. I don't think the logo needs to change for one thing. I'm with you. I like it better than the NFL's logo. I like it better. I mean, MLB's logo is all right, but I like the NBA logo. I think one of the things that we have with this movement is um, the death of Kobe Bryant was tragic. There's no way around that. I think we're feeling kind of the echoes of mourning for Kobe Bryant. And again, there's no way around that. That was a tragedy, absolutely. And this was also the player nowadays. You and I aren't very old, Justin, but these NBA players are much younger than us. This is like their guy. This is like Kyrie's guy that he grew up watching.
Fair point. It's
So
true.
I think that is part of the reason as to why the players want this logo. Kyrie also said that he wants the logo to be representative of people who built the league. I certainly, for myself, I think Jerry West qualifies for that. And
Agreed.
with that point that Kyrie makes, I don't see why that should be changed. And as you were saying, I don't mean any insult to Kobe Bryant, but he was transparent about the fact that a lot of his playing style, he even did the tongue thing like Michael Jordan did. A lot of what
That's
he
true.
did was mirroring and trying to emulate what one of his idols, Michael Jordan, did. And that's no slight on Kobe, because Kobe was fantastic, and he was the best of that group in the 2000s that were trying to kind of carry on this type of thing. And then eventually, he led into a lot of positive influence with Mamba mentality and educating youth, supporting the women's side of the game, things like that. There's certainly a lot of great things about Kobe. But I think you're right in terms of the controversy with what happened in Colorado. I won't dive into that too much, but you're right that is a blemish. And so just to throw out something to give a different idea to maybe like a logo change other than Michael Jordan. Another interesting one I think to look at would be really under Kyrie's context in terms of what built the league. I think an interesting logo. Now, I wouldn't make this change. I would keep the logo. Let me keep it 100. But
Sure.
if we're going to change it, something where you have like Bird versus Magic, I think would be interesting, where you have your greatest franchise from the East Coast and your greatest franchise from the West Coast, like the two greatest franchises in the league, this rivalry in the 80s that people remember very fondly, that started the golden age of basketball, that then Michael Jordan was able to carry and continue, kind of pass the torch to Michael Jordan from that era. I think that would be the most interesting option to explore from things that I was quickly brainstorming. But again, I'm with you, and I agree with the points that you made there. I agree with what Jerry West said, and I appreciate his humility. And I also agree with what Doc said there. I think there was a lot of good perspective in those quotes that you read there. So for me, call me old school, call me a traditionalist, but I would love to keep Jerry West as the logo as well. I think it can hurt you in unexpected ways too when you change the branding. When you have something that's global, that's going well, like basketball is, I don't know why you change that.
Hey, thanks for checking out Hoopsology. If you had any thoughts on the topic we just discussed, we'd love to hear them in the comments section below. If you liked the video, please consider liking and sharing the video. It really helps us out. We appreciate it, and we will see you guys for the next video.